Get ready for another microdose. And hey, if this information is jiving with you, then check out the full episode. The link is in the show notes. Enjoy the ride.
Real quick, man. I just want to kind of give a little bit of data on that. So, while you were talking, I just typed into Chat GPT. What are the scientific studies done on stress and wellness? And chronic stress can lead to cardiovascular sickness because the cortisol and inflammation. Long-term stress leads to elevated levels of cortisol, a hormone that can increase inflammation and contributes to plaque buildup in the arteries, which can lead to heart disease. Blood pressure. Chronic stress has been linked to elevated blood pressure, heart rate variability, which stress can reduce. Then another big one is acute stress and heart attack. You can have broken heart syndrome, which is a real thing. As you have stress throughout it, it's an acute emotional or physical stress can cause temporary condition where the heart's main pumping chamber weakens, mimicking a heart attack. And this is often referred to as stress-induced cardiomyopathy. Stress and unhealthy behaviors. So you become more, likely to do some risky things that are not good for you, eating emotionally and obesity, work-related stress, depression, anxiety, and the list goes on, man. I'm scrolling. Yeah, and then there's multiple studies, like thousands.
So there's a direct link. Yeah. There's a direct fucking link, and this is a great way to detach from that catastrophe that John's talking about, you want to waste your time, you want to use your time right now, and be responsible of your time right now and become more mindful, get to know your breath, begin to practice, begin to calm down, alleviate that stress and anxiety, then do it. Or do you want to take your time 4 or 5 years from now where you can't work, right? You can't walk, or you have some sort of a time frame that you got to work months and months and months to get back to just a basic baseline of health that you can actually function on your own. So the choice is yours, right? Again, keyword here is this is preventative, and and that little bit of time investment, that little bit of money investment can save you a hell of a lot of heartache, a hell of a lot of physical pain in the future, and a hell of a lot of wasted time because you're not using your time right now in order to step up and take this opportunity to shift what's going on the inside.
Yeah. So what's keeping us from stepping up and taking that opportunity, right?
Resistance,
right? The war of art. And it's funny, man. I feel bad because I recommended the war of art the other day, a couple weeks back. And, and I said, it's Stephen Pressfield. And, the guy picked up The Art of War, also a fantastic read, but The Art of War is Sun Tzu. Two very, very different reads. So the War of Art in that book that Will's holding up, it's Stephen Pressfield. He talks about resistance and then becoming going pro in the book.
Going Pro is the second book. Going Pro is the second book. Great book.
Yeah, but Going Pro is defined in the War of Art.
Oh, yes, of course, yeah.
So, but basically resistance is, we use excuses like, I don't have time. We get wrapped up in our work. We get wrapped in our ego. What feeds our ego? Well, we get recognized for the amount of work that we have in a day. We feed our ego by looking at our calendar and being like, oh my gosh, I have 50 meetings today. I am such a great person. Right. I'm so important. But what could you do if you allowed yourself time to get up and go move your body like we talked about? What are some other examples of the resistance?
Well, I mean, he talks. There's many. It's he talks about many different forms. It's going to show up. So whether it's victimhood or whether you're self-medicating or drama or your resistance with trauma or sex, there's so many things that are always, the mind is always going to present you with something to go to one of two places. All the mind knows, right, is two things. It knows the past or the future, but what it's always seeking is more, and it's more of what it loves or more of what it knows. That's it. So if you want to stay in the mind and get drug around by the mental thoughts and the emotions that arise with them, then the resistance is going to be a part of that. And the resistance is always going to be there, and it's going to show up time and time and time again, especially when you try to do something new. But that's what being calm and getting to calm and getting more mindful is going to help you to do, because then it's like, wait, I've been down that path before. Mm-hmm. Do I want to go down that path again? What are the results of when I typically go down that path, right? And do I want those results in this moment right now? Or I can be like, hey, all right, don't want to go there. What's the next step I can, what's the step I can take over here in order to change? And as soon as you start to make change, the mind's going to be like, you're not serving the mind right now, right? More of what I love and more of what I know. And it'll try to put some sort of roadblock, which Stephen Pressfield talks to as, which he refers to as resistance. And it's interesting because he defines resistance not just as an idea, but an actual identity. And I like that he says like an actual entity. That's it, more of the word, more of an entity that is within all of us and around us all the time. And he very succinctly and so beautifully writes, he goes, resistance is a universal force that acts against human creativity and endeavors. It's described as a faceless, formless, and heartless energy whose sole purpose is to prevent individuals from starting and completing their creative work. Mm-hmm. Resistance manifests in various forms such as rationalizing, fear, anxiety, procrastination, self-doubt, and even sabotage by others. It is an internal sensation. Think about that. It's an internal sensation that is more powerful than any external obstacle and is particularly potent when individuals attempt to pursue work that is important to their soul's evolution. Wow. Right?
Mind-blowing, yeah.
That is... I know, really mind-blowing. And he really hits on so many levels. And really, that's kind of, I love those last two words, is what all this mindfulness and everything we're talking about in wellness is the soul's evolution, right? Really upgrading that operating system, upgrading that software, because we can try to deny our energetic soul self that we are, right? But that's who we are. And that's who we're, if you really want to, that's who we're trying to get to a little bit more every single day.
Hey, thanks for joining us on this journey. Small doses lead to big changes. If you're vibing with this snippet, then take a listen to the full episode by clicking the link in the show notes. If you would like to plug in deeper to what we're doing, head to mentalkingmindfulness.com or text MTM to 33777. Until next time, peace.